your name, if you could, or your screen title, if you could just give me your full name, let me know who you're representing here today, whether you're the applicant, the owner, neighboring property owner, or someone else. So we'll start with RDA2, which I think is Ryan Duber. Is that right? Just need you to unmute.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's me. That's correct. I'm Ryan Duber, representing the applicant, the owner, as the applicant.
Okay, great. Welcome. And I see that we have someone under the name John. Is that John Ashcraft?
Yes, hi, I'm John Ashcraft. I'm the owner.
Okay, great. Welcome. And also we have Arija. Is that right?
Hi, yeah, I'm Aria Ashcraft, and I'm one of the owners.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
On the applicant owner side, are we expecting anyone else to join us here today? Are you expecting anyone else to be here?
No, no,
Okay, great. Great. We also have Trey Sheldon here from the planning department. Welcome, Trey. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I need to read through the hearing script. This will just cover the procedure for the hearing, and then we can begin. So this is the November 13th, 2024 session of the zoning hearing examiner docket. The case for us today is case number ZH20240135. That's 1315 Dillion Avenue. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any other parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. For our purposes here today, I'll allow Mr. Duber or the owners, any combination thereof, to tell me about the project, any background they think is important, what exactly the project is, the zoning relief that's required, and why they believe the zoning relief is appropriate. Again, one of you can speak, all of you can speak. It's really up to you. If there were anyone here from the public that was attending the hearing, they would have an opportunity to speak after the applicant had presented its case. I'll hear from the planning department and Mr. Trey Sheldon to provide any testimony in addition to its staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond to that testimony offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. In the event of any technical difficulties with the Zoom technology, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those issues on the fly. To the extent there's some defect that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with this hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay, final thing I need to do here is just swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing any testimony, making any comments, asking any questions, doing anything other than just strictly observing, and the zoning code requires that I swear you in. So if that's you, if you could take yourself off of mute now, I need everyone to raise their right hand and to answer out loud. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Great. All right. Thanks, everyone. Who's going to be taking the lead here on the applicant's presentation?
I'll give a brief summary.
Okay, great.
All right. I think most of information is contained in our application. So are you familiar with that?
I am, yes. I've reviewed the application materials.
I don't really have anything extra to add to that, since there's no one really here that hasn't heard all this or before. I'm just gonna rely on that, if that's okay.
Yeah, why don't you just put some of the basic facts on the record?
Okay. Sure.
So we have this.
Yeah. So we're proposing to do an addition onto 1315 to accommodate a new outdoor space on the first level with a deck. And on the above portion of that second story will be a master or primary suite. We're asking for relief because of the average maximum envelope averages create a hardship for us on the rear yard, causing the average to be within the existing envelope of the house by several feet. So therefore there would be no ability to add anything onto the house if we're restricted to that. 1319 creates has a different depth of lot that's kind of extreme as compared to 1311, which creates the hard average, hardship average. So we're asking for a rear yard setback relief resultant of 35 foot 8 inches, and then the cumulative cut and fill relief of request of 2 foot 9.
Can you tell me more about the excavation and fill work on the property?
Sure. There's very minimal regrading around the house. As you can see that on sheet 3 of the drawings. It's just simply to get water around the addition. We're not changing the slopes. We are creating the 2-story addition by adding a wall, below where there is existing retaining wall, that you can see that on sheet 7 of the addition. The left side of the addition will have a wall, and then it'll be backfilled with gravel, basically. So we'll be stepping the foundations from the right to the left to create minimal disturbance. But the overall cut and fill from top elevation to the bottom does exceed the 8 feet. So therefore the 2 foot 6 is the cumulative of that, but there's not one single cut into the hillside. That's probably more than a few feet of what's there already.
Okay. And will you be removing any mature trees or vegetation, creating any cliff-like vertical slopes, anything like that as a result of the cut and fill?
There's one tree that I think has already been removed. Has it been removed yet, Ashcraft's the one that's on where the slope happens?
There is a pretty mature catalpa tree that is going to come down in January. We're planning on taking that down, whether or not we do the addition, just due to the fact that it's very close to the garage and it leans over the home. So that's the only vegetation that's going to come down, and that's just the catalpa that's pretty near the house.
Okay.
And that's it's not shown on here, but it occurs about where the 708 grade line happens, and we would disturb the roots of that, which wouldn't allow water to slope around the house. So that's another reason why that tree is being removed. And it's aged, certainly too. So the disturbance of the addition, building the addition, would affect the root system, and it would die anyways. So.
All right. Great. Anything else you'd like to tell me or the owners before I move to the planning department? Okay, great. Trey?
Sure. David, just this project, as far as kind of the massing of the building envelope, it matches the roof line. It is compliant as to height, obviously, but it's a situation where the building itself is stepped, which the guidelines want, and insofar as the roof cants from left to right, matching the existing roof, and then obviously steps down to the deck and then down to the yard. And equally, as Mr. Dubert has explained, there is no basement under the proposed addition, so it steps the minimum that it possibly could, basically, into the hillside to get their building code of 30 inches for frost. So they, as he stated, no more than a few feet in each sequence into the hillside. So there's no grading at all, really minimal, that needs to be even done here, because it steps down neatly right into the hillside. And as you can see from the rear elevation, I mean, it's in perfect tandem with the grade, the natural grade that's there, which on the property goes, while it slopes somewhat to the back, it mostly does. The steepest part is going from basically from south to north, or right to left if you're looking from the rear, and it slopes down in that direction. And the addition also, the way it's laid out with the deck, there'd be room underneath the deck with kind of a patio there that enables you to use the walkout basement. It's already currently that way. So it's really a form follows function thing that works quite well with the lowest part of that part of the property, where the where you can still maintain egress out of the basement and out to that area underneath the deck. So I feel like it's the minimum possible that you could really excavate to build anything here. And it's stepped exactly as the code wants it. It's almost, over, it's kind of ideal in that sense. It goes exactly stair step with the slope of the hill. And lastly, just to point out that, reiterate some of what Ryan pointed out, which is that there are times where the code works well, especially with the front of houses, to have them aligned so there aren't, there's harmony between them when it comes to the MBE, the setbacks. But there are also times where things get skewed by another property, and you've seen much more extreme examples than this, where it just skews things. But basically, currently, if you use because the property to the north has, maybe 40 feet or so deeper rear yard, essentially part of the house is already non-conforming. If that makes sense, part of the existing home built decades ago would be non-conforming with current zoning code, and you wouldn't be able to build anything. So I also point out that the base setback in this district is 35 feet from the rear yard, and even with the proposed relief from the maximum building envelope, they're still proposing a very generous 113 feet, almost 114 feet rear yard setback.
Okay. Thanks, Trey. Appreciate your testimony, your work on the staff report here.
You're welcome.
Mr. Duber, it looked like you wanted to jump in there, but anything from anyone in response to Trey's comments?
There's not a finished basement. There is a small yard, a shed storage spot underneath the addition. So I just wanted to note that. You can see that on the basement plan. But it's pretty minor, so it doesn't require really much additional excavation for any reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I should have noted that. That's closer up to the house itself, not toward the back of the property, but the back of the addition itself steps exactly, and there's no basement or anything in that portion. So.
Okay. Mr. Duber, anything in closing or otherwise before we adjourn here?
No, I feel like it fits within the existing fabric of the community. In terms of total square footage, it falls kind of in the average of the houses there. The owners met with several neighbors and got sign-offs and reviewed the drawings, and nothing was of major concern besides just like what can you provide some screening, or is this just the change itself was kind of was like, oh, there's going to be something here, how do I what is that going to mean to us? So there wasn't really any major concern. They were very for the development, and obviously the increase in value that's adding to their home has got to also help their neighboring home. So they were encouraged by that.
Okay. All right, great. I think we can leave it at that. I've had a chance to review the application materials, the staff report. I think I'm familiar with the neighborhood just because I think I granted similar relief a couple doors down at 1307 2 years ago. I'm not sure if they ever built that, but I did approve a rear addition.
I believe they did, David. I was assigned to that one as well. So
yeah, as I look at the satellite, I can't really tell, but
yeah, they did. They did.
Okay. Well, again, having said all of that, and based on the testimony as well that I've heard here today, I agree with each of you that it would be impractical to strictly enforce the zoning code of this application, and so I am going to approve the request. Need to formalize that approval in a written decision. I mentioned at the beginning that typically takes about 2 weeks. I'll do everything I can to get that to you all before Thanksgiving. As soon as I finish the decision, I put it into a PDF and I'll email it to everybody who's in the hearing here today. So you'll all have a copy of it really just moments after it's complete. Trey will also be on that email. And again, as soon as he sees that, he can approve the zoning permitting on his end, and you all can take the next steps. Any questions?
No, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Good luck on the project. Hope you all have a great day. And we are adjourned.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.